Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to Arco for this quick presentation about the IFSC sport climbing, paraclimbing paraclimbing into the Paralympic program. I actually do speak English. You wouldn't guess from that quick speech there. I'll introduce everyone that's going to be talking today first. We've got the Vice Mayor of Arco, Roberto Zampicoli, and I apologize for the pronunciation of these names. We have Marco Scalaris, the President of the IFSC, David... And we have Davide Battistella, the President of FASI, the Italian Sport Climbing Federation. We will have Luca Pancali, who will be joining us by video. He's the IPC board member and president of the Italian Paralympic Committee. We have PIU, the IFSC treasurer. We have Sebastian Depke, the chair of the IFSC Paraclimbing Commission. And Lucia Capovilla, the athlete representative of IFSC Paraclimbing Commission. So we're just going to start by asking Roberto Zampicoli, the Vice Mayor of Arco, to come up and say a few words. There will be translation, so please bear with us.
Grazie. Buongiorno a tutti. Io purtroppo non conosco l'inglese, quindi vi devo parlare in italiano. Spero di non far troppa fatica all'interprete, però vi rubo 5 minuti perché questa per noi è un'occasione molto importante e quindi mi permetto di rubare a tutti 5 minuti. Ovviamente faccio i saluti da parte mia, da parte dell'amministrazione a tutti, questa è un'occasione molto importante. Oggi per me è una giornata di felicità e soddisfazione. Vi spiego un pochino perché. Prima di tutto perché siamo partiti stamattina con una pioggia incessante, invece adesso è arrivato il sole, col sole tutto molto più bello e quindi sono felice per questo. E poi devo esprimere un po' di soddisfazione perché vi ospitiamo in questa prima manifestazione ufficiale in una struttura completamente rinnovata e devo esprimere soddisfazione perché e ringraziamento anche perché il nostro ufficio tecnico, l'impresa realizzatrice dei lavori, i progettisti, gli stessi volontari che sono molto importanti per noi hanno lavorato per un anno dalla fine della stagione scorsa per permettere che si realizzassero queste due grossissime manifestazioni che ci danno lustro internazionale, il Rockmaster qualche giorno fa e soprattutto questa importante, ufficiale, questo mondiale che ci porta tantissima soddisfazione. Ovviamente tra i ringraziamenti, ovviamente l'IFSC che ha pensato di organizzare qui questa manifestazione, ma soprattutto permettetemi di rivolgere un sentitissimo ringraziamento a FASI. FASI, noi abbiamo cominciato 4-5 anni fa più o meno un percorso di collaborazione che è iniziato un pochino in sordina, poi ha portato dei grossi risultati. Il più grosso risultato che ha portato è il fatto che ci abbia permesso come amministrazione di poter ottenere il contributo PNRR per il rifacimento di questa struttura. Adesso io non so se la signorina dopo lei farà un riassunto, però volevo un pochino rubarvi un po' di tempo. Diciamo che appunto siamo arrivati grazie alla FASI ad ottenere il finanziamento PNRR per il rifacimento, cosa che noi avevamo nel nostro programma, probabilmente non so se avremmo scelto di ristrutturare, qui dovevamo ristrutturare, ci siamo accertati tramite FASI che questo intervento molto costoso, molto importante, potesse darci l'occasione di ristrutturare una struttura che poi rimanesse all'altezza della situazione per qualche anno. Credo che sarà così. E quindi mi permetto di dire a nome dell'amministrazione che ci piacerebbe continuare per molto tempo il percorso che abbiamo iniziato con FASI. Questo credo che permetterà ad Arco, all'amministrazione tutta, di mantenere diciamo, quel gradino in più, quel punto di riferimento che è nazionale ma anche internazionale nel mondo dell'arrampicata, che è nato grazie all'intuizione dei nostri amministratori 30-40 anni fa, adesso non so bene, ma più o meno 30-40 anni fa. Da allora siamo, come dire, punto di riferimento per l'arrampicata sportiva, che prima era uno sport, era un'attività sportiva, un'attività outdoor, adesso è diventato uno sport a tutti gli effetti, e quindi diciamo, vogliamo rimanere punto di riferimento per tanti anni. E poi un'ultima soddisfazione, quella di ospitare qui voi atleti, ma non solo di ospitarvi qui in questa struttura rinnovata che, diciamo, sì, è merito nostro ma è anche merito della fase, ma ospitarvi all'altezza della situazione in tutta la nostra comunità, non solo nel mondo, diciamo, stretto del climbing stadium, ma in tutta la nostra comunità. Speriamo di essere all'altezza e vi auguriamo un grossissimo buon divertimento. Grazie.
Okay, for the English speakers, so this is a very important occasion for the administration of Arco, and Mr. Zampiccoli brings the welcome and the salutations from the administration of Arco. Today is a very happy day for him and for them. First of all, because at the beginning, when we started off this morning, it was raining and now it's sunny, so that's a good start. And then it's a big satisfaction because this is the first official event in the new structure. And this new structure has been the product of the hard work of the technical officers and volunteers who have been working tirelessly to get this to the point where it is today and to welcome this World Cup and the Rockmaster that took place a couple of weeks ago. And first of all, he would like to thank the International Federation of Sport Climbing, the IFSC, for choosing Arco to bring the conclusion of the season, the paraclimbing season. Here, and also big thanks to FASI because they have been a great partner in getting the public funding that was necessary to build this stadium, and so they would like to continue the partnership and to continue growing the community and the sport climbing community here in Arco, and continue the partnership with the institutions to bring the journey of climbing here to Arco more. And lastly, it's a great pleasure to host the athletes, not only in this venue, but also in the wider Arco community, and so outside of this climbing stadium, so enjoy the rest of the competition today and of Arco as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you both. And before we hear from the other guests, we do have a short video to introduce paraclimbing. Okay, I'd just like to hand over to the IFSC President, Mr. Marcus Galaris.
Thank you, Richard. Buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's really a special moment to be here today because Arco is a special place for climbing. Before we start, however, my thought go to Christoph Schweiger, who last year lost his life in a tragic accident in Arco. And Christoph was 21 years old. and he was one of us. He was here for climbing, and for this tragic accident, he cannot climb anymore. Arco. Arco is where our journey began. Arco è il posto dove effettivamente il nostro viaggio è incominciato in 2011. 2011, a key year for paraclimbing, but also for the IFSC. Why? Because on the 14th of January 2011, the Paralympic Committee of Italy recognized sport climbing, paraclimbing, as a Paralympic discipline. Mr. Luca Pancalli, the president of CIP, recognized first Paralympic committee in the world recognized our discipline as a Paralympic discipline. And with this strength, with this recognition, we organized here in Arco the first World Championship where climbers and paraclimbers were together. The intuition and craziness of two other people who are here today. Here on my right, at that time he was the president of the French Federation, and here in the audience, Ariano Amici, who was president of FASI. And of course, the organizers of so many events, Angelo Senici, who is here, and the administration, those here, who supported this crazy project of having the two worlds becoming one world. I due mondi non sono due mondi, sono un mondo. And we organized the opening ceremony in the square. Piazza Segantini is correct, it's called. And then all the climbers and paraclimbing moved together to the venue to start the competition. And I was sitting on the, I don't know where, I don't remember, with Pierre and Ariano. We are watching the climbers and the paraclimbings parading in front of us. And this guy said, because they were organizing the next year, the World Championship in Paris-Bercy, he said, I must do it. I said, yes, you must do it. And in fact, this was the second step, Paris-Bercy 2012, again, climbers and paraclimbers together in the World Championship. And from then on, this one family, one world, the World Championship is together. Arco was and is host of many unforgettable and historical events. Arco started in 1987 with the Rockmaster, and also introducing what they were called the artificial walls to host a competition, because even in Arco in 86 and 87 we had the competition on the rock. 86 Arco joined Bardonecchia with the Sport Roccia event that was organized for the first time in 85 in Bardonecchia, and by the way, next year, 2025, we celebrate the 40th anniversary of this first event that really started the big journey towards the creation of a new sport, a new discipline. Then in 87, the Italian Federation was created, all in Italy, always in Italy, and it got the recognition 2 years later from the National Olympic Committee. And then, as I said, 2011 recognition from the Paralympic Committee. Then here in Arco we had World Cups, we had the Youth World Championships, and we go on. We are here today to celebrate in this year the inclusion in the Paralympic Games. People thought that with our inclusion in the Olympic Games it would have been automatic to be in Paralympic Games. La gente pensava siamo olimpici e quindi adesso siamo paralimpici. Assolutamente no. It doesn't work in this way. There are two different channels, there are two different procedures, there are two different authorities. And I can tell you that it probably was, to be realistic, even harder to enter the Paralympic Games than the Olympic Games. È stato probabilmente più difficile entrare nei Giochi Paralimpici piuttosto che nelle Olimpiadi. But, once again, Italy opened the way. Opened the way, and the result is also in front of you with the amazing Paralympic Games in Paris. And Rai covered all the Paralympic Games from the beginning to the end, opening to closing ceremony, and it was fantastic. I cannot count the hours that I spent in front of the television, and probably all of you, because you were captivated, you were taken. Watching this athlete with a disability was incredible. And then we were discussing this with Lucia before. It gives hope to everybody, also to those without a disability, because when you look at watch the Olympic Games, they are so strong, so fast, that they say, I will never be like them. But when you see the athlete with the disability, how they adapt their body to perform and to excel, then I say, okay, I have a chance. Huh? And this is true. That's why they made the audience that nobody could imagine before. We had Stade de France with constantly 40,000 spectators, 40.000 spettatori allo Stade de France per tutte le gare dell'atletica. Wow, it's absolutely amazing. And we are now in this loop. We are now in this loop, and I can tell you that I'm sure that paraclimbing will be a great success in Los Angeles 28. Because the Paralympics do not have the exact same target as the Olympics, but one of the main goals is to make people understand that they can make it. Uno degli scopi delle Paralimpiadi è mostrare l'eccellenza degli atleti, ma anche veicolare un messaggio di inclusione. Se ce la fanno loro, ce la potete fare anche voi. Quindi ogni essere umano con una disabilità ha la possibilità di vivere una vita dignitosa, una vita che appartiene a tutti. So, we are here today in this that will become an amazing national training center. Our teams, not only the Italians, they go often to Innsbruck, which is not so far. It goes to other places in the world. We were creating a hub in Moscow. Unfortunately, it won't be available for a few years, I think. We are creating some hubs in Asia and some in North America. So, but probably this will become one of the reference point in the next year. So again, one can ask why we accepted that we decided to get this challenge. Qualcuno si può chiedere perché nel 2011 abbiamo deciso di accogliere questa sfida e lavorare per l'inclusione. Because we are climbers and we never made any difference. With or without a disability doesn't make any difference for men, women, elder people, young people, people with a disability, people without a disability. It's one world. And we climb all together. We enjoy staying together. So this was our DNA. Inclusion is in our DNA. La risposta è nel nostro DNA. L'inclusione, noi non abbiamo mai fatto differenze, uomini, donne. Avevamo gli stessi premi per uomini e donne all'inizio, quando Wimbledon non li aveva. Gli uomini prendevano di più delle donne. Noi dall'inizio, uomini e donne. Ma le donne sono di meno. Vabbè, ma se vinci, vinci. Cioè, uomo o donna non. E qui è lo stesso, nelle palestre, ma anche in Falesia. Cioè, quando ci si ritrova non è che chiedi, vabbè, tu hai una disabilità, allora no. Arrampichiamo insieme, quindi era naturale, è sempre stato naturale, cioè noi non ci siamo mai posti il problema, come anche le differenze religiose. Non so, racconto sempre questo episodio. Anni fa noi abbiamo delle atlete dell'Indonesia, alcune di loro portano il velo, e un giornalista un giorno dice: ma come vedi là, nomina questa atleta che porta il velo, e io guardo la foto e ho detto: ah sì, è vero, porta il velo. So what I was talking about religious beliefs, no, for example, especially in today's world, there are some issues about that. And we have some Indonesian or Islamic athletes that wear the veil. And a few years ago, watching a picture of one Indonesian girl wearing the veil, a journalist asked me, what do you think about this young lady wearing a veil? And then, oh yeah, it's true, it's wearing a veil. I mean, where is the problem? For me, someone is wearing a veil because she wants to wear a veil. If someone doesn't want it, doesn't want it. But it's not an issue, not even a topic for conversation, I think, no? So this is, again, inclusion is in our DNA, and we could not do otherwise. Then the challenge was big. I think that especially 2011, of course, we started, and then 2012, and then we went on. The risk now is that paraclimbing is becoming so big that to accommodate the two championships together might not be sustainable, but this for the next generation maybe. And of course, I have to praise also the member of the commissions and the athletes. And sometimes they do crazy things. Sebastian came to Torino in spring with a machine. It was a special bikes, and he had this bike, not a real bike, but something on wheels. Let's put it this way. And he presented his plan to go to Innsbruck through the Alps with this bike, and then he described this challenge. Well, it didn't sound very safe. And so he had the GPS. We were following him on GPS to be sure that he could really cross the Alps. Raccontavo la storia di Sebastian che è venuto a Torino in primavera con questa specie di bicicletta dove lui sta sdraiato e pedala con le mani. L'ho provata anch'io, ma insomma non mi sentivo molto a mio agio. E poi ci ha spiegato che con quella voleva andare a Innsbruck da Torino, ecco, insomma, attraverso le Alpi. E vabbè, ce l'ha il GPS, sì che ce l'ho, dice sì, per così seguiamo ed effettivamente ci è arrivato, no? You got there. Because these people are crazy. But the lesson we can learn from them is not the craziness, because maybe we would not be able to do what they do, but the joy. They always smile. And this is something that is important in today's world. Stay together, inclusion, and smile to each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And next we have a video message from Luca Pancali, the IPC board member and president of the Italian Paralympic Committee.
Dear sports friends, the third edition of the Paraclimbing World Cup will take exactly here in Arco in these days. For the first time, this event is organized in the historic training center of the Italian national team after its renovation. Now the site can host athletes all year round with all the equipment available. It's the last World Cup of the season, and the ambition is to break the 2023 record when 202 athletes from 25 countries attended the event in Bern. Arco has a long-standing tradition in hosting climbing international events, starting in 2011 with the first World Championships. From 2012 until 2019, it welcomed 3 World Cup editions and 2 Youth World Championships. This year, in June, we finally received the announcement of the inclusion of paraclimbing in the Paralympic program, and we cannot wait to see our athletes competing in Los Angeles in 4 years. This spectacular discipline deserves to be in the spotlight. Hosting the Paraclimbing World Cup is a great opportunity to show the excellence of the country in the inclusive sport, but also the continuous efforts of our National Sport Federation and the special climbing for the development of paraclimbing. Da ultimo, poche parole nella mia lingua per ringraziare il presidente Davide Battistella e naturalmente attraverso di lui tutti gli uomini e le donne della federazione per tutti gli sforzi messi in campo da diversi anni per raggiungere da un lato lo straordinario risultato di vedere, anche grazie allo sforzo italiano, il paraclimbing nel programma dei Giochi Paralimpici di Los Angeles, ma anche per tutto quello che è stato fatto negli anni per garantire lo sviluppo e la diffusione di questa disciplina che io amo particolarmente perché trovo profondamente spettacolare nel nostro paese. Per cui grazie Davide, grazie a tutti voi per quello che state facendo. Ricordatevi che il Comitato Italiano Paralimpico, col nostro approccio, come mi viene a dire, di consueto da team, sarà sempre al vostro fianco per garantire il maggior numero possibile di nuovi atleti ed atlete che possano avvicinarsi al paraclimbing da qui in avanti. Bocca al lupo a tutti.
Okay, so next we will hear from PIU, the IFSC treasurer, and President Skalaris will just do a quick introduction for you.
Well, yeah, just a couple of words to comment what Luca Pancali, President Pancali said. I think that it was very important for me and for the IFSC to meet the right people at the right moment, and Luca was one of those. You can imagine that the journey has not always been easy. Il viaggio non è stato sempre propriamente facile, quindi notti insonni, dubbi, però incontrando le persone giuste al momento giusto e soprattutto umilmente ascoltandole, perché tu puoi incontrare, avere i migliori consulenti amici, ma se poi fai sempre di testa tua spesso non funziona. E Luca è stato uno di quelli, no? Because at the beginning, say, Luca, what do you think? We can make it? Because if we cannot make it, or it is in 30 years, 40 years, then okay, we move otherwise. He said, no, I think you can make it. And this is the same relationship that I installed with the International Olympic Committee. It's a real partnership, and you see the result. It's a new way, it's a new model, new way to do sport and to manage sport. And I think that we show that even with limited resources, a lot of passion, but limited resources and the good people, the right people at the right place, you can make it. This is the real challenge that I think that so far we have faced in the proper way. So I'll give the floor on one of those crazy guys that in 2011 decided to play the game. Pierre.
Thank you, Mr. President. A short presentation. I am in the board of IFSC since 2021. Before that, I was president of the French Federation during 16 years. And why paraclimbing? And in 2010, IFSC chose French Federation to organize World Championship 2012. But in this moment, it's not question for us to paraclimbing. And crazy guy, Fazi and Angelo, thank you, Arco, in 2011, because you put the level another step. And with my federation, we said it's impossible to make only climbing. We must organize also paraclimbing. And this moment, we choose to put the final without disability, with disability alterning. And at this moment, I think it's very, very important. And the second step for us was in 2016. The same schema, the same possibility. During my presidence of French Federation, I was also 8 years a member of the French Olympic Committee in the board member. I continue to organize and to discuss about paraclimbing, and it's very important, like said Marco, to share and only one family. I hope in the future to have the possibility also to mix the two, paraclimbing and climbing. But today is very difficult because more and more competitor and an athlete. I appointed by the board of IFSC to structure the future of paraclimbing in the IFSC today to 2028. I think very difficult, but let's go, we'll do it.
Thank you, Pierre. And now we head over to Sebastian Depke to talk about the journey towards the Paralympics.
Thank you very much. Whilst the inclusion of the Paralympic Games in Los Angeles 2028 was a very challenging road, I did not expect that we could do it because we were not the only one knocking on that door. 33 sports applied for parasports, applied for the inclusion in LA 28. 22 were accepted right away. The same 22 sports like in Paris, which just took place now, a few weeks ago. And the IPC gave the decision to the local organizing commission, LA 28, to decide whether they want aside those 22 program sports to include either paraclimbing and/or parasurfing. It took a while, and finally this decision was published in June of this year to include paraclimbing as additional sport in LA 28. So at that moment it was clear for us, now we are on the next level. What we did so far was just the beginning. The way ahead of us now is a complete new chapter in IFSC paraclimbing. This will change lives for sure, for those who will participate, for those who will succeed. And we just received the application package from the IPC a few days ago, where we have to propose the sport program that we will show in LA in 28. So we were guaranteed athlete quota of around about 80 to 100 athletes there. And we are thinking about having 4 to 5 sport classes included in the sport program. We will decide inside the IFSC on the exact details and will submit it in February next year. And we expect then a dialogue to begin with the IPC on the details of the sport program, which will then be announced most likely by the end of next year. I would like to thank everyone who helped along the way and who is and will work on this crazy project that I'm accompanying now since 2019, first as a role as athlete representative, now as chair of the Paraclimbing Commission. And as I said, this is just the beginning. We will showcase in LA that there's almost no disability which can stop you from climbing. And no matter what happens, we will continue climbing. So thank you everyone, and let's start this new crazy chapter of IFSC paraclimbing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. And I will now hand over to Lucia, one of our athletes. If you could just tell us a little bit about paraclimbing in general. We're in Arco at the moment, and I believe, do you live here?
Yes.
So, the best person to talk about this place for us.
Yeah, it's thank you. Welcome everyone. It's really emotional to be here in Arco, that I decided to make it my hometown since 2 years now. And as the mayor was saying before, that it's not just about climbing, but it's about a community. And I can really say that I found it, and that's why I decided to really move here. But I started to know Arco for the climbing, for the rocks, for the really so beautiful environment of mountains and lake and whatever that can give you. But also because it's climbing in here is, as we mentioned before, it's where it all started, where really people believe it, and where the passion growing, start burning for the first time and still growing. And so I'm really happy that I make the first step before was mentioned to be in Paralympics. So yes, I decided to change my life and to really trust in what these sports can give me, but also to all the other people around me. And now that we will be in Paralympic, is really, I can't find words to say what it means to us, to our sports, and to everyone who will really see what we are capable and what everyone can be capable if they only trust in themselves. So, I really hope that in this 4 year, many other athletes will come and approach our sport, but not only the sport, as we mentioned, like in artificial way, but what climbing can give you also on an outdoor, and as a community, as President was saying, we will never see difference between each other, because climbing is a community where you support others always, even if they should be your enemy, we can say. But so this is the magic word of climbing. And being Arco here now to do our last workout of the season in a place that will probably be my home climbing gym for the next years now on, that will lead me to Paralympic. And I could cry actually now. Thank you everyone who let us dream it and support us to be here and to move forward.
Thank you, Lucia. For those that were listening to my broken, we were expecting Davide Battistella, but he got held up. So we'll just hand over to President Marco to say some final words, and we'll close the presentation.
Thank you, Richard. Before we go to a closing, I think it is important to understand, to extend a little bit the words on inclusion. No? I think that for many of us in the IFSC, at least for the president, I hope also for many others, sport is considered a social tool. Sport is education. And for us, when we started this sport in 84 basically, it was not so clear. Because in those years, climbing was for asocial people. We thought we were different, reading better. Negli anni '80 Arco era una delle culle dell'arrampicata. lo sport dell'arrampicata non era proprio uno sport visto come uno strumento sociale. Noi eravamo climber, noi eravamo arrampicatori, quindi diversi, ovvero migliori. Quindi si veniva ad Arco, si dormiva neanche in campeggio, magari da qualche parte così all'aperto, e poi si andava a arrampicare. Poi sono venute le gare, and then we had competition, and we changed our mind a little bit, although in the beginning many of us were a bit reluctant to contribute to competition. But we said better the climbers run competition rather than someone else. Meglio che siano gli arrampicatori a gestire l'arrampicata anche competitiva piuttosto che qualcun altro. And then what the really turning point was with the climbing gyms. No? Then they started, we realized that we were really bringing climbing to the people. L'arrampicata è diventata accessibile. And at that moment, we realized that climbing could be used to make a better world. If climbing change our life for better, why not using climbing to change other people for better? Se l'arrampicata aveva fatto del bene alle nostre vite, ci aveva cambiati in meglio, perché non utilizzarla per cambiare in meglio anche le vite degli altri e quindi del mondo? Questo è il segreto, questo è il punto cruciale su cui noi ci siamo mossi, e quindi arrampicata come strumento sociale e ovviamente inclusione è una dei principi fondamentali. This is the principle on which we moved on. Climbing to make a better world. Climbing to improve the quality of life of the people. And inclusion is one of the fundamental principles for that. This is clear. So Arco understood that, and there was the administration that got this message and invested year after year in this direction. Before we go to one word for our friends of Guardia di Finanza, police, and so on, and the other sport department of the military corps. I think that here we had a good example of cooperation. And cooperation is first, they always offer the belayers, and it's important. But at the same time, in Italy, they offer the possibility to many athletes to live their lives, to compete, and just to focus on sport. And so my wish is that, in Italy we have this approach to sport. Olympic and Paralympic sport are treated the same way. In fact, if you see the number of athletes with a disability, it's almost the same as the number of athletes without a disability in the military sport department. So abbiamo questa fortuna, l'inclusione è comunque parte delle attività dei corpi sportivi militari, perché il numero di atleti con disabilità e il numero di atleti senza disabilità è praticamente lo stesso. Quindi qual è la speranza? Che anche gli arrampicatori con disabilità possano essere inclusi nelle attività dei corpi sportivi militari. So the wish to the Italian paraclimber is that soon they can participate in the activity of the military sport departments. And then, of course, that other countries can follow an example with different systems, because we have this system in Italy that works. In other countries, they have maybe other systems that work as well. It's important that we really give equal opportunity to anyone. So before we go to a conclusion, I think that Sebastian has something special.
Oh, yes, we forgot that. We were talking now here on stage, but we would not be here, for sure, without our little helpers behind the scene, right? So, Erika Ricci, please come on stage. Yes, you didn't expect this, but Seb always has crazy ideas and prepared something. So, Erika. Yes, you were not prepared for this. That was the idea. So, thank you as our helper in the IFSC office for taking care of paraclimbing, for all this, and a big part of this success goes to you. The golden medal for the office is yours, and because of this, I created a golden quick draw for you on a climbing volume that we want to see in your office. I left the volume blank for the moment because I wanted to write something like Mom of Paraclimbing or Miss Make It Happen on it, but I know you have mixed feelings about this, so I leave it to you to design something on this blank sheet of paper that we have in front of us for the way that we go now. So thank you very much, Erika, for all that you have done for paraclimbing.
It's a good thing we have a brand new Makita in the office, so we can put it on the wall.
Good idea. So thank you. I give the closing words to Marco.
Thank you, Sebastian. I don't know if he made her cry. I don't know. A little bit, okay. Because this was the bet, no? Betting, scommettere se si avrebbe pianto un pochino, no? Ma insomma, un pochino. No, for sure, there will be place. We will have a new office in Torino soon. We had some bureaucracy issues in the last 1.5 years, and apparently now they have been solved, and we hope to enter the office early next year. So there will be space for this recognition. And then to conclude, I would really like to invite Ariano to join us here on stage to recreate what it was 2011. No, you can stay, Lucia, and Ariano stay here. Come. So they laughed. They were not laughing so much when in 2011. Non è che ridessero così tanto nel 2011, no? But again, we had the privilege to be pioneers in this journey, and I have to thank you. As I said, listening to you always gave me the inspiration to go on, because just to mention an episode that Sebastian mentioned a little bit, when we were in competition for LA with parasurfing. You can tell all the stories of the world that we're better organized, etc., but in California, surfing is quite popular. So to go for, because in the beginning we tried to have both. We really said take both, but for some political reason they didn't want to have both, so they wanted to have only one or none. So you understand, if you are a politician, I politici sanno come funziona e quindi a volte piuttosto che escludere diciamo così, un'attività popolare che porta voti, si fa meno di tutti e due. So it was really a tricky moment at the very end of the process, because they say, well, rather than excluding one popular activity, maybe we exclude both. But things went well. The strength of climbing prevailed, and we are here to celebrate this with our friends and colleagues, and to celebrate you, the athlete, that today you will compete again, and will make us proud of you, and maybe also you will bring home some medals, some recognition. But again, I think that what is good in the Paralympics is really to follow the Olympic motto, that is participation. It's really what counts, because you show that nothing is impossible, and in fact we are the evidence that nothing is impossible. When you have a goal, when you want to reach it through sport, you can reach it. Yes, you have to train, you have to prepare yourself. Nothing is given. Nothing was given from the beginning. We were nobody. in the IOC, we were nobody in the IFSC, non eravamo nessuno. La gente diceva buongiorno e intanto guardava già sopra le spalle dall'altra parte. Now they come, they talk to us, and we are recognizable. So we made some progress. We made some progress because we were all together. Of course, there are leaders who speak more, like me. I like to speak, but it's a community. I always felt the community together with me. Climbing and paraclimbing, no different. And I have good friends still here to celebrate this moment. And for sure, let's go together to climb higher, faster, stronger toward the Olympic Games, Olympic and Paralympic Games, Los Angeles 2028. Thank you.
So thank you everyone, and that concludes the presentation. And I hope you enjoy watching some live climbing finals tonight, both here in Arco and live on YouTube. Thank you to all the speakers. Clap.